Detective Lil Mila, the Yorkshire Terrier who talks, and the case of the missing pets. On a sunny morning, Lil Mila the Yorkshire Terrier trotted alongside Mr. Jenkins as they walked through the neighborhood. Lil Mila was no ordinary dog. She could talk. She wore a tiny detective coat with a matching hat and was famous in the neighborhood for helping the local police find lost pets. Mila's keen eyes spotted a sign on a telephone pole as she walked. She barked and tugged on Mr. Jenkins' pant leg. "Look, Mr. Jenkins," she said, pointing her paw toward the sign. "It's another lost pet. Let's call the police station." Mr. Jenkins, smiling down at her, patted her head. "All right, Lil Mila, let's see who needs your help today." Mila read the sign carefully. It was a picture of Speedy the tortoise. "Lost tortoise, loves lettuce and hiding under bushes," the sign read. Mila's little nose twitched with excitement. She was ready to solve another case. The search begins as they went home and Mr. Jenkins called the police station. Officer Davis, who knew Mila's skills, picked up right away. "Good morning, Mr. Jenkins. Is that Detective Mila with you?" Officer Davis asked, chuckling. "You bet she is," Mr. Jenkins replied. "We just spotted a missing tortoise sign. Mila's on the case." Mila wagged her tail and grabbed her magnifying glass from her detective kit. She sniffed the ground, looking for clues, then trotted over to Mrs. Jenkins, who was watering the flowers in their front yard. "Mrs. Jenkins, have you seen a tortoise around here?" she asked. Mrs. Jenkins thought for a moment. "Well, now that you mention it, I did see a trail of lettuce leaves leading to the neighbor's garden." With a little bark, Mila was off, following the trail with Mr. Jenkins close behind. They found Speedy the tortoise munching on some lettuce in the neighbor's vegetable garden, looking as happy as a tortoise could be. Mila gently nudged Speedy. "Speedy, your family is looking for you. Let's get you home." Another mystery to solve. As they brought Speedy back, Mila saw another sign on a tree. It was a picture of a big, fluffy dog named Bruno, who had escaped his yard to chase squirrels. Mila sighed. "Oh, Bruno," she said, shaking her head. "He loves those squirrels way too much." Mr. Jenkins chuckled. "Guess we have another case, Detective Mila." Mila trotted down the street, asking other animals if they had seen Bruno. She chatted with a friendly tabby cat named Whiskers, who pointed his paw toward the park. "Oh, he went that way, Mila. He was barking at squirrels just a little while ago," Whiskers said. They found Bruno by the park's big oak tree, looking up at a squirrel on a branch, barking with all his might. "Bruno, your family is worried about you," Mila called, and Bruno's ears perked up. "Oops, I didn't mean to run off. I couldn't resist those squirrels." "Let's get you home before you chase anymore," Mila laughed. Finding Fluffy the ferret. When they thought their work was done for the day, Mila spotted one last sign. It was for Fluffy the ferret, who had wriggled out of her cage and escaped. Mila knew precisely where to look. "Mr. Jenkins, Fluffy loves shiny things. Let's check near the fountain in the park. That's where she hides all the treasures she finds." And sure enough, they found Fluffy darting around the fountain, her eyes sparkling as she admired a shiny coin. "Fluffy, your family misses you. Let's get you back," Mila said gently. Fluffy squeaked, "Oh, thank you, Mila. I didn't mean to cause trouble. I just wanted to add to my treasure collection." A hero's welcome. After bringing Fluffy home, Mila and Mr. Jenkins returned, tired but happy. Mrs. Jenkins welcomed them back with a plate of dog-friendly treats for Mila. "You've done it again, Detective Mila," Mrs. Jenkins said, scratching Mila behind the ears. Later that day, Officer Davis called to say thank you for Mila's help. "You've done a great job, Detective. Thanks to you, all the lost pets are home safe." Mila wagged her tail proudly. She loved helping her neighbors, both humans and animals alike. And as long as there were missing pets, she knew she'd always be ready, her detective coat on, her magnifying glass in paw, to solve another mystery. With a satisfied yawn, Mila curled up on her bed, dreaming of all the adventures that awaited her, because every pet, big or small, deserved to be found and loved. The end.